I was really interested to see the spiral heat exchanger on one of the latter slides that you showed.
Yeah, well, that's the from the coil master unit. Basically, what that does, you have the fire tube internally doing your primary side, but the coil is for the domestic hot water. So that's the domestic hot water's totally surrounded by the primary. So it's got a very large surface area. It's a twin coil in that, so that gives very high hot water performance. I think it's as I said, it's over 1,800 litres an hour every hour at 60 degrees, with maximum storage is 25 litres, which is just what's in the pipework. So very low in Legionella risk as well.
Yeah, I was listening or heard one event where they were talking about boreholes, and for me, there's normally just a vertical borehole or a slinky, which sort of is a bit of a hybrid, with trenching being slightly shallower than boreholes. And there's all the articles in the news talking about really deep kilometre length boreholes. But I heard one innovation whereby rather than going vertically downwards with the boreholes, they go at an angle.
Right.
And that angle allows this building in particular to just have two boreholes, because rather than having 20 metres of borehole vertically downwards, they've actually got 25 metres of borehole because of the additional surface area on the angle. And these boreholes only take up the footprint of a standard car parking space. So it's not taking up the whole car park and massive whole load of peppering the ground with boreholes. They get sufficient thermal input output from the boreholes by just having them on a slight angle, and then increasing the length and therefore the surface area and therefore the outputs that they get from it, or the energy that they can extract sufficiently to power their buildings without having to have an additional one or maybe another two taking up another sort of car parking area. So just that, having, I don't know, maybe an apprentice or a grad saying, well, why don't you put it at an angle rather than vertically downwards? And somebody coming along challenging our sort of standard thinking that piling rig must be vertical. Well, let's put it in on a slight angle, and you get the benefits from it. So seeing that spiral heat exchanger on that unit was reminding me of that borehole technology. So I'm guessing that that's sort of following a similar philosophy, whereby if you had a standard coil, it would take up a certain amount of estate within the unit, but by having them on a spiral, it increases the surface area. And yes, materials, but you get more out of the thing, and therefore it's more efficient overall.
Yeah, absolutely. You're spot on with that, and what we've done is it's spiraling, and then we doubled the coil to double it, so that coil in a very small footprint, that coil can take 120 kilowatts of input. Whereas if you looked at a traditional calorifier, to get 120 kilowatt coil going through it, it'd be a big piece of material going through there. So yeah, that's the idea behind it, is to utilize the space and maximize the heat transfer.
Okay, brilliant.